Hear the echo last time. We'll have to ask people that are on here if they hear an echo when we get going. But I think as long as we do what we talked about, we'll be fine. Can you guys that are
Sounds
joining
good.
us, can you hear an echo or anything when Ian talks or I talk? Anybody in the comments?
I think we're good this time.
Yeah, I think we're good. We are up on Facebook now as well. So, all right. So I'm going to watch the comments in Facebook and on Instagram if you can kind of keep an eye on those. But let's just open it up. Ian, first of all, welcome to the WAYMO team, man. I'm looking forward to working with you, having you help build out our content with me and our sales team as well to help people make decisions to help better themselves. And we're fired up about
100%.
that. So
man. Good to be part of the team.
Let's give a quick background, what your background is for those watching, just because some people weren't on the call last week, I'm sure. And
yeah, I've been sales and marketing 13 years. I've worked for oil, natural gas investments, selling joint ventures. I've worked in for some of the top medical fields, selling medical products, instruments, things like that. In the United States, I've worked with the Cardone's office. Now I work with Frank Kern's office as his sales director. So like I said, over 13, 14 years of direct sales and marketing experience. So that's gets me to where I am today.
And it's one thing to have the experience, but it's also the mentors that you've had, the people that you've been around. What's up, Nicole? I see you. Greg Orr. I see you, Peter. I see Peter there down in Miami. But the experience is one thing, with the mentorship that you've received as well. You want to speak on that as well, because that's what's really had me, open to bringing you into the team to help us grow this thing.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the marketing side, I've learned from Frank Kern over the last 2 years. If you guys don't know who Frank Kern is, he's one of the best people in direct response digital marketing world. So I've gained a wealth of knowledge from working with him. I worked with Grant Cardone and Jared Glant's team over there when we had the agency going. So, I was always top producer for them, been a top producer for Frank. I've been a top producer everywhere, every company I've worked for, actually. And especially when you get down to the oil, natural gas joint ventures, we were selling anywhere from $40,000 to, no, they can't hear me, see?
I can hear you okay on the Zoom, but they can't hear you on the Instagram?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so your phone, this part here that's hooked, maybe there's no sound. Can you guys hear me when I'm talking? Todd, is it just Ian's or is it mine too? Let's see. Yes, no sound. Is it no?
What about now?
Okay, so you can hear me? Test. Just Ian. Okay. So how about now? Can you hear Ian now? Go ahead, talk, Ian.
What about me? Anything now?
Let's see.
Something. Let me do something.
Yeah, good now, he said.
Oh, good now. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been in sales and is there an echo or are we good this time?
No, I'm hearing good, and they can hear us both. So guys, thank you very much for your help, guys. Appreciate that. All right, fire away, Ian.
Perfect. So basically what I'm looking at now is I've been in sales and marketing the last 14 years. I've worked in oil, natural gas investments, selling joint ventures anywhere from $40,000 to $280,000 per investment. I've worked with some of the top medical industries or medical companies in the United States, selling devices and services. I've always been a top services there, or a top producer. I also am working now with Frank Kern's office, have been the last 2 years. He contracts me out to do his direct sales. I'm his sales director, and I've learned a wealth of knowledge in the last 2 years from Frank, as he's one of the biggest gurus online right now for direct response marketing, digital marketing, anything that has to do with going out there and really creating a brand from Facebook, Instagram, working your lists and so forth. So, and then with Frank, I've had the opportunity to work with Jared Glant and Grant Cardone's office over there when we had our agency together. Was always a top producer, always been a top producer. But the reason is like you said, it's the people that I've worked under and the people I've worked with, right? I've worked with people that are making, $1 million a month in commissions when I was selling oil, natural gas. And they'll sit there and tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and hold your feet to the fire to produce, right? Everything I've done has always been 100% commission. So if you don't make money, you don't survive.
You got to kill what you eat, baby.
Exactly. And that's how I operate. So it's always been 100% commission. Go out there and make as much as you can based on the performance, right? It's not effort, but it's the performance that actually gets you results and gets you paid. So you can put all the effort in, but if that's not equating to actual results, then you're not going to make any money. So, but like I said, I've worked with some people that have, been in direct sales for 20, 25 years, all phone sales, direct person to person, face to face. And I've had some of the best mentors and experience as far as training is concerned that you can possibly have in the sales world. And that's got me where I am today. So especially if you go to the medical field, that I'm working with billion-dollar companies that spend, massive amounts of money just to send you to 4 8-week training courses on how to, set SMART goals, use the ask situation, different things like that. So I've been taught various types of sales and performance, and it's just basically building that into what's going to work for you as an individual.
So Ian, let me know what, first of all, everybody knows I'm a Cardone licensee. So I have Grant's material available to me to be able to teach, his products to be able to provide, along with WAYMO products, Ian's content. We're going to mix this all together to provide you with the best content to help you with your challenges. So by the way, as we're doing this, any challenges that you're facing in your business right now, if you're in business or you're in sales, you're an internet marketer, whatever it is, do me a favor and put it in the comments. Let us know. So we're going to try to address that. We want to make sure that we can help you. But Ian, talk to the fact of, you said you're a top producer everywhere you go. What is the secret to your success with that? Like what makes you a top producer?
It's having clarity, right? Going out there and setting your mind to where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. And there's different things by that, but it's setting, like you said before, micro targets, going out there and setting actual, daily, hourly, monthly, weekly targets to make sure that you're where you need to be, right? And really, if you're not tracking that every single day and going out there and making sure that you're, hitting your targets, then you're not going to get there. So, I check in every 2 hours, half a day, every day, end of day. I make sure where my goals are, my call count, my, how much revenue that's producing, how long I spend on each call. Those are all little metrics that you have to constantly tweak and look at in order to hit your goals as an individual. Not only the company goals you have, but your goals. And I've always set my goals a lot higher than what my company goals were, because I'm not here just to produce. I'm here to be a top producer, right? So
right.
You have to decide what's gonna help you get there. How many calls you need to be? How long are those calls? What's your average talk time? How many people do you have to connect with a day? Out of those people, how many of those people do you need to sell? At what price point? What's going to get you to your ultimate goal at the end of the month, right? Or the end of the year, or the end of the quarter, or wherever whatever you're focusing on, depending on your industry. So.
Right. And what we want to do, and you've done a great job with this in the past, especially with working with Frank, and Grant does this as well, is we want to bring free value to you guys. Free value up front, earn your trust, to let you know, first of all, what our expertise is. And guys, this is a little lesson for you as well. When you're on the internet or you're trying to sell something, the first thing you need to do is build trust with your potential prospects. And you have to build trust and then share your expertise. Let them know. The trust comes into it where they can trust the fact that you know what you're talking about, that you've done it, that you're not just somebody that's going into the coaching world or trying to mentor people that haven't done it. I've personally been involved with building a company to just under $10 million in revenue, and then it fell apart. Not to my doing, but I'll take responsibility, and then doing it again right now. And it's easier the second time. So, but I've done it. I'm currently doing it. I'm taking this company that we're working with now, which is Nations Lending, which you see on my shirt, mortgage company, home loan company. We're taking this thing to $100 million a month in loan volume, which is unheard of for our size of a group. And I'm determined to do it. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's difficult. And I'm actually in the process of building and scaling a company so that I can help anybody else that's trying to scale a company and starting from zero. Because it was, by the way, it was just me and my partner, Chris Short. And then we added Bo Cox and some other people that are a part of our crew. And now we have 40 employees. So, nothing's too small for me, and getting big, that's what we do. So, but Ian, talk about that, like the free value that we're looking to add, looking for challenges. Like right now, I see one here, how you pass the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Oh man. Gatekeepers hold the key, right? That's why they call him a gatekeeper. But the thing with the gatekeeper is it's her job or his job, right, to make sure that no one, unless they're important, gets in front of that owner or that executive, right? So you have to add value right up front and let them know why you're not wasting that person's time. They get 10, 20 calls a day from sales reps, I'm sure, if they're successful. So the last thing you want to do is just let every person in the office, they won't have a job, right? So what I do with gatekeepers is, I mean, there's a few different things you can do, but really it's call and ask for that person directly, like you already know that person. That's helped before. Like, hey, is Mike in? Hey, it's Ian, is Mike in? I should talk to him real quick. Or
Hey, well,
actually add value.
Let's freaking role play, dude. Why not? I'm the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Hey, is Mike in?
Yeah, this is. Are you calling for me, or like you're calling for my boss, Mike?
I'm calling for your boss, Mike.
Okay.
Is your name Mike too? That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm Mike too. Yeah, calling for Big Mike. Okay. Big Mike's not in right now. Can I ask who's calling?
Yeah, it's Ian. We actually had. He inquired about something we were selling, so I wanted to follow up with him on that. Do you know when he'll be available? I just need a little bit of his time.
So he inquired to you.
Yep, he inquired to us.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me check and see if he's available now. All right. I'll go check. He told me to take a message.
Yeah, take a message would be fine. Actually, can I have direct access to his voicemail by chance? Would that be better?
Yeah, I could do that. Sure. That's one way. I can send you to his voicemail.
Yeah.
If not,
but really, it's just let him know that I'm calling from the WAYMO movement. It only take a few minutes of his time to get on the phone real quick. I definitely won't waste it by any means. I respect your time and his time. But if you can go back to him and just ask him if he has 3 or 4 minutes to talk today, if he doesn't get value over those 3 or 4 minutes, he can hang up. That's not an issue, but I know he will. So
right. So you see how he didn't just go to voicemail. Let me just go to voicemail and leave it at that and not give up right away. Just always like this is part of the close. You're trying to close the gatekeeper a little bit on trying to get that guy on the phone, right?
Exactly. And like I said, it's their ass, right? It's their job that they're messing with. So if you get in front of that, I'm fading in and out. See, I don't.
Yeah. I hear you, but I'm not on Instagram, so I lost your voice, Ian. You're fading in and out. Guys, you can hop over to Facebook if you want to, my Facebook page if you want, or you can get into the Zoom link that I emailed you guys. That's in there. You can join us on the Zoom link. I'm not sure why the Instagram's acting up.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually goes good.
Is your phone okay? He said it's fine now. So
okay.
So yeah. So you're closing the gatekeeper on allowing them or getting the person, the prospect on the phone, right?
Yeah, 100%. Because like you said, it's their job is to keep people, out of their office, and they're only going to let people in if they feel like it's, yeah.
So let's say you left a message and then you're calling again, and the gatekeeper picks up on the second or third time or the fourth time. You kind of get friendly with them, right? You're trying to build rapport
100%.
with them so that they know who you are after a while. Oh, it's Ian again, right?
Yeah, and just so hey John, how's your day been? I know we've talked a few times. How's it going? Just have to build a little bit of rapport there. Oh, it's going good. Okay, yeah. How's the weather? A little small talk like that, and just go right into, hey, I know I've wasted your time a little bit here in the past. Definitely not trying to do that. I just want to add a lot of value to what you guys are doing over there, and I feel we can do that. This is how, based on what you sell, do a little pitch there. And then if you can't get in front of that, if they won't let you through, the only way that you're going to get your message across is to have that person deliver that message to that individual, right?
Yep.
So you have to build value with yourself within that gatekeeper before they're ever going to go and put their time on the line, I guess you could say. So
right. Yep. And then you get the person on the phone. Finally, get the person on the phone. Let's say I got Big Mike on the phone.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Big Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Doing good. Who is this now? The gatekeeper said that you wanted 3 or 4 minutes of my time, and I inquired with you.
Yeah, so this is Ian over the WAYMO movement. I saw that you were on one of our podcasts the other day, and I let the message show and just following up with some people there. But I wanted to see exactly what you're doing in your business to see how we can help you bring more revenue in.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm kind of busy right now, but I got 5 minutes. So, and then just go into.
Yeah, exactly. If they say they have 5 minutes, that's just a smoke screen. If you build value, they'll spend as much time as you need to on the phone with them. So you just need to go right into it. Don't spend too much time building rapport or beating around the bush. Just go right into how you can help them, what you have, and don't waste their time. That's the biggest thing. If they're on the phone with you after you've called 3 or 4 times, the worst thing you can do is waste your time and beat around the bush. So go right into, this is why I'm calling. This is what our company can do for you. And this is why I think it'd be a good fit. Can we talk further?
Right. And this is that's the kind of thing, like when he's on the phone, he gives you, I got 5 minutes, I'm kind of tied up right now. And you get talking to him and then you keep his interest because you're fact finding and you're asking the right questions. Yep. Like, what challenges are you facing in your business currently right now coming out of COVID? What's the
Yeah.
biggest challenges that you're facing?
What are you doing currently for your marketing? What's the return on investment on that? How much are you spending now? You're spending $5,000. Okay. What are you returning? What's that returning to you? Oh, you're not
What
getting a
about
return. Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
what about accountability for your team and your employees? Are you having trouble keeping your team accountable? How are you keeping your team accountable? This is a big problem in business. And I was at Cardone's Mastermind. We were talking about accountability, and a lot of leaders, sales managers, business owners, executives, what have you, and salespeople for themselves, keeping themselves accountable. Accountability is a big problem, right?
Huge.
So, and a lot of leaders aren't very good leaders, and they're scared to hold their people accountable. They're afraid it's going to push them away, right? So,
yep. Well, a lot of times, like we talked on last call, a lot of times your sales rep will have ownership of you as a business owner because you've put them in that position of power instead of you having the power. You put them in a position to work as hard as they want to work, make as much or as little as they want to, but you have to be, you have to set good goals. And I think that's one thing is not very many business owners have clarity on where they're trying to go. And if they do have clarity, they don't know how they're going to get there. They know what they want to make, but they don't know exactly what metrics they need to have in place in order to hit that goal. And that's key, right? How many people do you have to have on the phone? What's their talk time? How many contacts? How many sales? What's your price point? What's your revenue based off that after you pay out commissions? I mean, you have to be very, you have to have a micro lens at looking at, okay, what do I need to do to scale? What do I need to do to get from point A to point B? And how's my team going to help me do that? And a lot of times people are trying to be bosses instead of being, you work for your employees, not your employees work for you, if that makes sense. And a lot of successful people in the past, they feel it's the opposite, but really you're working for your employees, because without your employees, you're not going to be where you are today. So.
Yeah. The whole thing, a lot of times I talk about, I wrote a blog about this, being held over a barrel. That comes with lack of confidence as a leader, lack of confidence that you can go find new employees, lack of confidence that you can sell yourself if you needed to until you got new teammates. It all comes from a lack of confidence and lack of really intestinal fortitude, thinking that, knowing that you were going to go to work and be able to work. So any other questions, guys, or challenges that you're facing right now, put them in the comments. I'm watching the Facebook. I'm watching the Instagram. Pop them in there. But while we're doing that, Ian, I went to this mastermind with Grant and Brandon Dawson. I want to go over a couple things that I learned that, I learned, probably knew before, but I just kind of brought to light and looked at it a little differently. Is mainly that, culture is not a team concept. A lot of times people talk about culture in business being, like a team thing. Oh, we operate as a team, and it's a team, and it's great, and everybody's rah rah la la land or whatever. But really what it comes down to is a leader. Speaking of the leadership situation, it comes down to a leader establishing a vision, setting a goal and targets, and the team all rallying behind them. The team rallying behind that leader and going towards that vision. That's what it's all about. And a lot of people miss that when they're talking about culture, and they look for the rah rah and the team and this and that, and it doesn't work, because there's got to be that vision, and a leader, which Grant said this too with the other day, and which hit me, was that somebody's got to always grasp the seriousness of the situation of a business. And a lot of people come to businesses just to show up as a job, and they don't really have, like, that sets you apart from you being a top producer to people that are just coming and doing, a couple units in their sales job and just getting by.
Right.
So.
And another thing is, a lot of people can't, there's a lot of people now, especially now with COVID, that are living in that digital world where they're not having employees in office anymore. Everyone's working from home. You have to make sure you have the right people hired in order to have that vision work out, right? Because it's one thing to go into an office and be motivated and get work done. It's a completely different thing to be completely on your own and responsible for your own motivation, right? Not everyone can do that. A lot of people can't, actually. So like we said last time, you have to make sure that your health is in check, what you're eating, you're exercising, you have your micro goals, you have everything set up, and you know why you're doing what you're doing. Everyone wants to make more money. That's a given. But why do you want to make more money, right? What more, how much more money do you need to make? And what that money, what is that going to allow you to do? How's that going to change your life? And once you have those things in place, then you have no excuse to not hit your targets, right? You have something moving you. Everyone talks about what your why is. Everyone's why is different, or why they're going out there and making money, or why it's important to them. So you need to drill down on why that's important to you, and then set up goals that are going to work for you, especially if you're working from home. I've worked from home for the last 4 years strictly. So
Well,
I've been
what's the
able
difference for
to.
you? What's the difference for you? What kind of things did you have to readjust in that to keep yourself on track and focused?
Well, the big thing is a lot of times people, they take their foot off the gas when they're excelling. Oh, I had a huge month. I made 30, I made 40, I made 50 grand this month. Okay, cool. Next month, man, I'm going to go on a vacation. I'm going to take 3 days off. I'm going to do this. Wrong thing to do. Yeah, you need some time for yourself here and there, but the worst thing you can do is take your foot off the gas when you're doing well. And that's where I think a lot of people mess up. And that's one thing that I don't do. A second thing that I do is I make sure that I set daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly goals, right? And I live off of that. And I know exactly where my targets are, how much money I need to have coming in, how many sales, how much talk time. So that way I know if I can take a break or not, right? I know if I can go to the beach for a day. I live in Southern California. I can go to the beach every day if I wanted to, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's what's hard about
beautiful
being
weather,
there.
beautiful weather, beautiful women, everything you can think of is out here. So it's, you have to stay ingrained in, okay, what makes me stay at home, at my office, at my computer and grind when I can go do these other things. Yeah, I have a lot of money in the bank. I have this, that, everything's good. I feel good, but as being self-employed, you don't have a retirement coming in. You are your own retirement, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have a pension from a government company that you're going to rely on. So I think those are all things that really set me aside and make me keep me hungry, is knowing that, okay, just because I have a lot of money now doesn't mean I'm going to have a lot of money in the future, right? So I need to start preparing for that now. I need to invest. I need to diversify. I need to make sure that I constantly have more money than I need coming in every month. So that way, if COVID happens, or if something like this impacts your business, it's not going to impact you financially. There's a lot of people out there that are freaking out right now because they've been out of work for 3 months. They're not getting a paycheck steady coming in. They're relying off the government, and now they're depressed, right? You shouldn't be in that position no matter who you are. You should have some type of second, third revenue source coming in that you can rely on, so that when something like this happens, you're not your back isn't against the wall, right?
Yeah. And by the way, we have the WAYMO crew coaching group that's going to be meeting on Tuesday nights. We're going to be having that. We're going to be discussing those things, guys. If you're out of a job right now, if you're in a job that you're kind of capped, or it's just kind of COVID hit it hard and you don't think you're going to be able to come back, if you feel stuck, all these things, or if you're looking for other flows of income, we're going to talk about those things. We're going to go over those things, and we're going to keep the group intimate, 20 people or less, so that we can address each person's concerns and help them, guide them with whatever their concerns are. And that's something that's I'm going to put the link in here for you guys to do that. We're going to give you 50% off. If you guys sign up on this link, I'm going to give you 50% off. And I need you guys to go. I'm going to put it in all these places. But Ian, if you want to take over, one thing I want to talk about, Ian, last week people had clarity issues. So how do you find clarity? What's the best route? Let's talk about that, because that was one of the big topics last week.
Clarity is big on any business owner we talk to, or that I talk to on a daily basis. Is you have goals, but are you clear on how you're going to get to that goal, right? That's the biggest thing, is having clarity. What do you want to accomplish? What does that mean to you? How much money do you need to make? Like I said many times, are your goals in line? Are you actually hitting the targets that you need to hit in order to get to that end goal? And clarity comes down to, a lot of people I talk to say, oh, I want to make more money. Okay, that's good. Everyone wants to make more money. Everyone in America wants to make more money, in the world, really. So why is that important to you? What's that going to align for you? And how much more money do you need to make, right? And then you need to go out there and, based off that, okay, let's say my bills are $10,000 a month. I need to bring in $30,000 a month, right? That's going to be, 2/3 of that is going to go into savings and investments. I'm going to live off a third, and so forth. So that's where I think the clarity comes from, is how much money you're going to put into investments, how much money do you need for your business, how much money do you need in your savings account, and what are you going to do in order to make that happen. So clarity just comes down to the end goal, right? Getting very clear on, this is what I need to do. And a lot of people, they think they have clarity, but they're doing 5 or 10 different things at one time. And you can't do that in order to hit your main goal. So you need to focus on the top 1 or 2 things that are going to help you get from point A to point B, and put all your effort on those. And once those are dialed in, then you can move on to the next thing. But I think one thing that gets people out of the clarity mindset is trying to do too many things at one time. And that's something that I see a lot talking with business owners, every day, is they're trying to boost their Instagram, and they're trying to go out here and build a podcast, and they're doing this on the side, and they're doing these live events, and they're doing all these different things, when really, 20% of that work equals 80% of their income. So you need to focus on, okay, what is giving me the biggest bang for my buck and do more of that. That's what Frank's doing is, hey, find out what's working and do more of that. And a lot of people, they find something that's working and they say, actually, you know what? I'm not getting the results as fast as I need to get them. So I'm going to try something completely different. And they just jump ship and they keep doing that. And they're constantly going from project to project to project. And they might be cash flow positive, but they're not where they should be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've had a lot of loan officers that didn't make it in our company because we demand a lot. At Nations Lending, we demand and we hold people accountable. And they want to blame us. They want to blame the company. They want to blame the when other people are thriving, and then they go jump ship to another. This is a similar scenario for some people. That not just a different company, but a different industry, different organization. Yep. You got to fix you first. You got to invest 100%. In you. You got to ask for help. You got to get coaching, mentoring, something. And you got to figure that out for yourself first. Then once you do that, if the company that you're working for, the leadership that's where you're working, or your whatever the case is, then there's a problem. Then you investigate other places. But don't go hopping around until you fix you first. That's 100% responsibility. We talk about that all the time. What can I do to make the difference?
The grass is never going to be greener until you have yourself dialed in, right? And that comes into a lot of things. So yeah, you hit the nail right on the head there. So.
Yeah, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the mentor group. We got some great things coming up. I just wanted to go over this and ask you guys. Ian and I wanted to find out what your biggest challenges are, and we're seeing the similar things from pretty much everybody. It's mainly clarity and goals, and then obviously some sales tactics and things. Which once you, Ian, there's a question there. Peter's asking. He lives in Miami. He's a buddy of mine. Do you have any kids?
I do. I have a 2-year-old.
So working with kids, that's a good question. Like, how do you work with when you have kids and keep your numbers up? It's hard when you're in quarantine, right?
Yeah, especially in quarantine, it's hard. No, really what it is you have to have a good, you have to have a good backup plan. Not backup plan, but you have to have, okay, like my son, I have him half the time, right? I have him 50% of the time. So I need to make sure that I have him in a daycare that I trust, that's good. Sure, you have to pay for that. It's another expense, but that just goes right back into your goals, right? And yeah, I might be spending half the time away from him when he's with me, but that's what I have to do to produce. And a lot of people get upset and they're like, well, I can't spend time away from my son. I'm like, yeah, but if you don't spend time away from your kids, you can't provide a good life for them, right? There's no 4-hour work week as everyone goes out there. Oh, work the 4-hour work week. Okay, yeah, sure. If that was the thing, everyone would be doing it, right? And right now I work, at least 40, 50 hours a week, more than that, less than that, depending on the week and where my goals are and what I'm hitting. But it really comes down to when I have my son, he goes to daycare and he's making friends. He's learning how to communicate with other people. It's good for him. And then, and it's good for me too, because it allows me to get my work done. But also when I'm not working, I'm 100% present on my kids. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up in business is it's hard for them to let go when they're done with work. They're still looking at their phones. They're reading emails. They're getting on conference calls. Mm-hmm. When my work is done, I focus 100% on my son, right? That's it. And that way, the time that I do have with them is,
that's
the
difficult.
best time it can be.
That's really difficult. But you got to understand that the phone and all that stuff will be there when you get back. And so this is a challenge for me too. Peter, he said that, Peter said that his challenge is that he's working from home with the kids always around him. Same thing, man. You got to figure out a way where you can isolate yourself during the time that you need to put the work in. Because if you don't, and you don't take the step, like I always talk about, if you have a goal and target, remove all obstacles. That's one of my quotes, remove all obstacles. I've done tons of videos on that. But not to call your kids obstacles, but it's the situation, right? There's no school. I understand that, Peter, but listen to me for a second. When you have an obstacle, you got to adapt, right? You got to figure out a way, because if you don't figure out a way, you're allowing that scenario, not your kids, but your scenario to win and defeat you from going after your goals and targets. So
and you can still spend time with them, like you said, spend an hour, go on a walk in the morning. As soon as you wake up, go on a walk with your team or with your kids, go to a playground, play, go outside, run around, come back in and have them know, hey, when the door's shut, like that's daddy's time, right? Like I have to get work done. I have to buy you the toys. I have to buy you the stuff that you like. I have to provide for you. And then, set little 30-minute increments where you can go out and hang out with them, do a lunch with them, do, a halfway mark, do whatever, but you just have to, it's kind of like you have to give time for yourself, and time for yourself is making money for your family.
Yeah. And I think, Peter, here's the other thing you got to do. Like, sit down with your kids. I don't know, how old are your kids? Did you say a 4-year-old? I think you said 4-year-old, but still sit down with your kids. If they're 4, it's kind of difficult, but still structure your day, put a calendar in place. Like I block my day out, my calendar, and I live by my calendar. And so when you do that, 12 to 4, whatever it is there's no homework being done. The kids' homework's not being done then. They got to do something on their own while they're doing that. If they have any questions, they save it for the time that you set aside to address them. Now, a lot of people, I feel sometimes like when I do that, like guilty. Oh, you got to schedule time in for me? Like my son said that to me. He's like 14. He's like, oh, I got to be like on your calendar. I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah. Because here's the thing. The kids don't understand, and they're going to throw that guilt on you. And you may feel some guilt inside of you, but think about how guilty you'll feel if you can't provide for them. Yeah. I mean, come on. Right. So that's what you have to weigh out, but you really got to be steadfast on the fact of structure. By the way, when the COVID happened, my kids were home. My wife formulated a structured schedule for my kids. Wake up, brush your teeth. I mean, all the stuff. Read, write your goals down. My kids are 7 and 14. I have them writing goals down and reading 10 pages in the morning, 10 pages at night of a book. And then we establish that from the get-go and tell them why we're doing it, paint the picture, have some fun with it, and then they get on their schoolwork. But you gotta basically take control. I know it's not easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy, right? So
no, 100%, definitely not easy. But like you said, it's just like anything else. It's clarity. Okay, this is what my goal is. I need to make this much money a year to pay my bills, save for my kids, go on a vacation, whatever you want to do. You need to know what that number is, and that's going to keep you from missing those targets. And that's what I mean by clarity, is having clarity on what do you want to do. You want to take 1 trip a year, 2 trips a year, 3 trips, 4 trips. How much those trips cost? How much is it going to take you to take off time from work? What kind of delta do you need to be in order to do that? You have to have all these things lined up, so that way when you do take time off, that you don't feel bad about it, right? Or that it's justified. And that's what a lot of people do, is they're like, oh, I need a vacation. They take a vacation, but then the whole time they're on vacation, they're stressing out. They're going, oh man, like I'm not working right now. Or they are working while they're on vacation. I did that for a while and it was bad, right? I would go out and my wife would be like, well, why are you working right now? We're on vacation. Well, I need to make money. It's a big week right now. Sorry, I'll be in here. I'll be on my computer real quick. And then that real quick turns into 4 hours, right? Because you're in the zone. That's not what you want to do. You need to be able to set these targets and be clear on where you want to go. So that way, when you do spend time with your kids at night, when you go on vacation, it's 100% about them. Because if you research any millionaire, billionaire, successful person, that's what they do, is the time that they have with their family is family time. They dedicate that. So they might not have all the time in the world with their family, but when they do, they make it count, right? And that's what's going to matter, is the time that you do spend with your family's quality time. Not distracted, not on your phone, not on Facebook, not on Instagram, not checking emails, not sending texts. It's 100% about your kids.
Yeah, look, can I be a little honest right now and genuine with you guys and transparent? I have issues like with myself because I love my work. I love doing what I do. I love spending time with you guys, helping you guys. I love spending time with my team, helping build my team. I love it. I love my kids too. But, sometimes I can't. I can't. I have trouble differentiating that. But I know what's helped me accomplish it. And so the other thing is, if you do decide to let your kids distract you or take the time with them, you need to understand that your numbers are going to suffer because of that. And you just got to be cool with it. You can't bitch and complain about it. But By the way, guys, any questions or challenges that you're facing in your life or business, put them in the comments. I'm watching the Facebook, the YouTube. I'm watching Instagram here. Put them in here. We'll address them. But one thing I want to remind everyone, we are here when we come on live here is to give you guys free value to help you. Tune in. When you see these, tune in. Because this information that we're giving you comes from a lot of experience, a lot of mentorship that we've undertaken, and we're going to bring it to you and let you know the stuff that it's working for us and how we've built our businesses. Let's see. Justin said, "There you go. Association with earning something. Work for the yeah." So Peter had his kid be as an accountability partner, and if he can work the time, then he made the money needed. They'd go to Legoland. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions or anything. Looks good there. Yeah, I think we got pretty much all of them there. All right, guys. So look, we're here to help you. WayMoCrew.com/mentor group. I put the link in the Instagram here. I'm going to pin it real quick. And then if you use the code podcast, all uppercased, you will get in there for 50% off. Small intimate group. We're going to deep dive into your sales or your business, whatever it is. We're going to help you be successful and grow your business. There is no other option for us. I listen, if you do the stuff that I talk about and what Ian talks about and how he operates, man, you can't help but be successful. But one thing, I'm going to end on this, and I'll let you have the final words, Ian. One thing that we do at our company, and we do it very well, and Grant talked about this when I was at the mastermind, is stats never lie. Stats take the emotions out of your business, out of everything. And basically, when you're looking at a graph, you can determine where you are with your business, with your company. And one of the major things is people think if their graph is flat and they're doing the same every month, that they're okay. Like, I'm good. I did the same as I did last month. I'm good. I did the same as I did last year. But that's 0, 0, 0 effectiveness. And that's a no-go zone. That's called emergency. When a plane is flying and it's trying to take off and it's going flat, that's an emergency situation. And that can cause you problems because gravity in your business, bad things happen to good people. Things will happen that will drag you down at some point if you're not trying to go this way, up. So one of the things that's very important, and what Ian talked about, is watching his numbers. I have graphs for our business. I look at graphs daily, hourly at times, and I'm on it. And if I'm seeing my graph start to go flat or obviously go down, there's always indicators of why that is. And we look at that and make sure that that's not happening. And we try to stay ahead of it and before it's too late. So Ian, any final words, bud?
I would just say one big thing that's helped me, and where I've seen a lot of key producers in the past, go from a top producer down to someone that's, no longer with the company or so forth, is you can't let your baggage interfere with where you're going in your company, right? Everyone has baggage. Everyone's going through a divorce. They're going through, health issues. They got something going on with their family. They're not getting along with their kids, whatever it is. That's fine. Everyone has those things. So I'm not taking that away from you. But when you're at work, you have to be 100% focused on your work. When you're on a sales call, you have to be 100% focused on that sales call, right? If you're meeting with a client, you're 100% there. You can't be checked out. You can't be thinking about this. You can't be fighting with a spouse. You can't be fighting with your kids over text. You can't be, somewhere else except for in that zone, right? And that's one thing that I've seen the most is some people, they'll go up and down. They'll be like this, they'll have a good month and they'll have a bad month. Yeah. They'll go good month and a bad month. And it's because they're in their head too much about what's going on in their personal life. And you have to be able to check that at the door. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people can't do is they can't turn it off, right? And that's one thing that I learned in the military. One thing I worked in sales is when you come into an organization, when you get on a sales call, when you're doing a Zoom meeting, whatever it is, you have to be 100% focused on that, or you're not going to close that prospect, right? And that's what it comes down to.
In the zone, right?
It's all about closing. Yeah, it's all about closing the deal. And if you're not 100% there, when I worked for Grant Cardone and Jared Glenn over there, when we had the agency, every time I was on the phone, all I was doing was pacing back and forth. I like to walk and pitch. It gets my mind engaged where I'm at. I don't think about anything else. It's a loud environment. There's a lot of stuff going on that can distract you. You have to be 100% thinking about every word that prospect says and how you're going to respond to it. And also another thing is don't interrupt people. There's so many people out there that they hear the same objection all the time. So before someone has the objection out, they're giving their answer to them. And it's like, let them talk. Let that person talk. So that way they feel heard. And then, say what you want to say then, even if you know what you're going to say. I was really bad about it at first. I'd be really excited. I talk fast. I'm on the phone. Someone would say something mid-sentence. I'd be like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. I know where you're going to go with this. This is what we're going to do to help you. And I would just blow them out. And that's not the way to get a sale. Not saying it doesn't work, but not the best way to go about it. So just
Justin, a little, Justin Behrman, who works in my company, said, thank you for your service, Ian. I was in the Navy myself. So Justin's one of our guys.
Yeah, I was in the Army, so it was a good time for sure.
Yeah. So shout out to all veterans, man. We appreciate all of your service. It's a huge sacrifice that you guys make for our country, and for us to be able to sit here and talk about business and sales, man. That's what it's all about. Some of us think we have it tough until we compare ourselves to other people that are really sacrificing. So, all right, guys. So listen, we're gonna continue to do this once a week, and we're gonna be building programs out for you. We just want to hear what your needs are. And if you're watching the recording of this, by the way, Ian's Instagram is at Ian, right? At Ian.
At Ian, or it's Ian Ruble _.
Yeah, at Ian Ruble _ RUBLE. That's IAN RUBLE _. And I'm at Mikey C-Roc with no K. Mikey C-Roc with no K. You guys can DM us anything you guys have questions wise, topics that you'd like be discussed, programs that you'd like us to put together, we want to hear from you. We want to help you. We want to see you be successful. And, there's a lot of people out there that can help you, but you guys, there's not many people that care as much as we do. And we're putting something special together for you. So until next time, Ian, anything last
Yeah, like I said, if you guys need anything at all, if there's anything you want us to focus next time or anything you want us to cover, just send us a DM, message us directly. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if we need to do a one-off, then, jump on a call, we can do that too. But we're just here to, like Mike said, add as much value as we can up front, let you know why we're here, what we've done, what we've accomplished. And then from there, if you guys want to join, you can. So it's all up to you. No pressure on our end. And we'll continue to do this every week. So
shout out to Emilio for joining us on the Zoom call. I see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us there. I know that was last minute. We'll try to get it out sooner. I was in actually Miami last week. I had a death in the family, unfortunately, and had to cut our trip short. So it's been a big whirlwind the last week. But going forward, we will get the information out to you a little sooner and get rolling on it. So appreciate all of you guys. Love you. WAYMO, watch the podcast. Let's go.
There we go.
All right. We're off on Instagram. We're still on live on here on Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys.